Good afternoon. I'm Brenda Siler with the Washington Informer, and we are going to have a conversation today about careers in the music industry. Our guest on WIN TV today is Jasmine Young. She has just recently been appointed the director for the Howard University School of Business, Warner Music Blavatnik Center for Music and Entertainment Business. That's a mouthful, but we know there's a lot going on with that center. Thank you, Jasmine, for being with us. And I want our listeners to know that you are a Howard University alumna. You have worked in the music industry. So tell us a little bit about the vision, the purpose for this new center at Howard University.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Brenda. I really appreciate it. And good afternoon to your listeners. So, this center was the brainchild of another Howard University School of Business alum. His name is Julian Petty. The goal of the center is to be a pipeline for students who are interested in the music business. So we will give them classes, we will support them with panel discussions and trips to assist them with the tools that they need in order to be successful in the music industry.
And I'm glad that you mentioned Julian Petty, who is, as you said, a Howard alum. And he is head of business and legal affairs at Warner. And this is what's important to our viewers and our listeners. Make note of who you meet in college because you never know when those connections will become your professional network. And so now that this center is up and running and ready to receive students, talk about the types of students, what the majors need to be for the students that are entering. It's my understanding they can enter the program as an undergrad or in the graduate school level.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So we have two parts to this center. There's a fellowship part of the center where we are offering scholarships to 15 graduating seniors. So graduating undergrad, grad, or JD, right? They
Yes.
have to be well rounded. They have to have a certain GPA, which is 3.4. But the goal is for me to find students that are passionate about the music industry and then also really want to learn, right? And so they could have had past internships or not. The goal is to give them the tools that they need and help them to facilitate or to get a job when they graduate in May. So the program is a thematic 8-month program that will start now in the end of April. But the goal is for those 15 students to have secured a spot somewhere along their preference in the music industry, right? And
Yes.
then we have a center portion of this amazing center, right? And that center portion supports all students in all majors. And what happens is we have a program where they can come in from 8 to 5 every single day. And there's a theme for that side of it as well. So we'll have an executive lecture series. We'll have a how-to class. We have mentorship if they want to come in and learn how to get an internship. If they need help with their particular resume for the day. All of those resources are available for all Howard students in every major, in every single classification.
Well, tell me in terms of the selection process, and I heard you give the criteria,
Mhm.
and I can imagine that you might have a lot of young people that say, yeah, I know music, I've done this, maybe a few have even DJ'd some events. Um, is there another criteria, maybe something like a paper? Do they need to submit an essay? And who is reviewing the students to determine who will be those select few to be entered into the program?
Absolutely. So we want students to feel comfortable in the learning process, right? And what we did was design an application process for the students that are interested. And yes, we have an overwhelming amount of applications. So a part of that application was an overview of what they want to do or what they think they want to do, because we don't want them to be in a box. They had to write an essay. They submitted obviously the application portion, a recommendation from their professor, and their resume. And then we have a review panel that looks at the resumes, and they have a formal interview that will be coming up in the next week. So they will be in front of a panel of both industry executives, professors, and deans, including myself, and they will make this panel will make the final decision regarding the 15. And this is what I always say: everyone is welcome here in our center, and we will give programs for everyone.
Well, when you start having the sessions, and especially I'm sure you're going to have industry professionals coming in to speak to the students, let us know, because that might be something that we would like to do a follow up on as we continue to monitor this new program over at Howard. Let's talk about Warner Music. Warner Music is huge. There are so many labels
Mm-hmm.
with the industry and with that company. And one of the things that I was curious about as I read about this wonderful fellowship internship program that Howard is starting is, how will it be selected where the students get a chance to really dig in, maybe do some on-site visits, maybe work with specific labels or artists? How is that going to unfold?
I love it. And thank you for asking that. So, Julian is the only Black head of business and legal affairs in the world. His vision for this center was to create a safe space and an open environment for students to get involved and to actually really learn. So, each student, each of the 15 fellows, will have an internal mentor within the Warner system. So people from all departments have pulled together, and we have a panel that will directly support each and every one of our fellows in the area that they so choose to desire. So if there's a person that's interested particularly in law, there's a person in the law department. If there's a person in publicity, we have a match for them. So the goal is for each student to have 3 or more hours every single month, one-on-one with their mentor. We also, in addition to that, we also have a field trip. So we are taking our fellows on the road. So this fall, we will take an immersive trip to New York City, and they will spend days shadowing their mentors, and they will be able to ask questions about the other avenues, in the Warner system. And in the fall, the same thing. We're taking them to LA, and they will have an immersive experience with the Warner family there as well. And the beauty of it is that the president of Atlantic, for instance, she was my first boss in the music industry, and they are so welcoming to our students to give them that unique opportunity. And Ms. Siler, we are the only label / school that has this opportunity in real life for students.
As we talked about in the title of this program, it is a part of or an outgrowth of the Blavatnik Foundation, which is a social justice foundation. So talk about a little bit the connection between what the vision is of the foundation and how that came to be the underwriting, if you will, of this program.
Absolutely. So the vision of this program, the Warner Music Blavatnik Music Program, is to educate, to empower, and to enlighten. We want to create executives that make money, but are advocates of change, much like the Howard culture that we have here on campus. So we have generations and generations, right? Legacy after legacy of Howard University students that have graduated and went on to change the world. And that's exactly what we want to build here. So in the wake of giving Howard University this grant, right, the Blavatnik family decides that, hey, this is an amazing idea. So they've created this entire Blavatnik family funds that they've dedicated $100 million to social justice work that kind of has a twist of music, right? So we are one of 26 grantees globally that are backed by this Warner Music Blavatnik Family Fund. So there are different works in different areas of the world. We all have one underlying goal, although we do separate things and have separate work ethics, right? Separate visions, but the underlying goal is social justice and being advocates for change and really being change makers in society. And that's a lot of our personal work in addition. So the marriage of all works amazing in terms of our center and our supporter or our grantor, the Blavatnik Family Fund.
Well, thank you, Professor Jasmine Young, who is head of the brand new Warner Music, the Howard University School of Business, Warner Music Blavatnik Center for Music and Entertainment Business. There's going to be wonderful things happening out of this program, and we will want to follow up with you later because I'm sure the next thing that you all need to focus on is what will happen with these students when they finish the program and where will they be placed.
Absolutely.
And how will the program help them get those placements. So thank you again for today. And this has been WIN TV. I'm Brenda Siler, and thank you all for being here today.
Thanks for